It's time to look and feel good from your head to your open-toed stilettos. What do cutting calories and wearing that low-cut dress have in common when it comes to your mind and metabolism? Get ready to find out. Welcome to Ladies. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels, where wellness meets fashion. I'm Julie Sagoskin, fashion and lifestyle editor, here to address your dressing do's and don'ts.
I'm Lisa Avellino, fitness phenom and fitness director at Balance 3H Plus Medical Weight Loss and Aesthetic Spa in Westchester, New York, working out with you to shake it off the smart way.
I'm Jacqui Justice, nutrition ninja and nutrition director at Balance 3H Plus. Forget fad diets. It's about finding your diet.
Now, let's get on with the show. Good morning, everyone. So excited that you're here to join us today on AM 97 The Answer. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels. We're so excited. I'm here today with my incredible rock star American stylist, the sweetheart of all, Julie Sagoskin, and our co-host today, Jacqui, is off doing a presentation on the skinny line with all the fempreneurs, getting everybody in shape, speaking right now, doing a huge Zoom event. So she couldn't be with us, although we're working on cloning her.
That's right. Her clone doppelganger will be here next time. Can you tell, is it her or not? We'll ask the audience.
Absolutely. And this is Lisa Avellino. I'm so excited. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We have so many exciting things on the program. But before we announce our special guest, we want to just say good morning to all the current and future fempreneurs. Woo-hoo-hoo. Right, Julie?
Yes, that's right. We love you all. We made our skinny line for you. We do the show for you, our wellness tips, fashion tips, a special guest. We just want to empower you because you have the power in you. So thanks so much for listening on the Saturday morning. We're so happy to be here with you.
And that's you, a fierce, powerful, and strong woman who isn't afraid to go after what she wants in order to be her best and most confident self. As fempreneurs, what is that? Well, it's a bold woman who is not only wants to succeed and go after what she wants, but we want to empower you with what you already know, that skill set to start living a leaner and healthier life, which we know this. We know this with our instincts, but it's also about bringing and prioritizing self-care and self-preservation to really bring it into focus, right? Harness that energy. That's what it's about. That's why we started the skinny line, in order to help our fellow females gain wellness and independence in a world that previously has been conquered by, well, sometimes they say by men, but it's not a man's world anymore because the skinny line fempreneurs are here to take over and give you one style tip, wellness tip, and today, mindset tips. We're so excited. That's a clue for our amazing friend and great guest. We're here to find that, to answer all the questions, right, Julie?
That's right, Lisa. We definitely want to answer all of that and even more. We are the original fempreneurs, and we can't wait for you guys to be a part of the club. Our amazing guest is definitely the ultimate fempreneur of them all. But as Lisa said, as fempreneurs, we are not here to hide our secrets. We are coming together to share them with you so you can have and live the most successful life possible. We are really an unbelievable and supportive community of other like-minded females who just want to live their best life because honestly, we all deserve it. Especially in these crazy times. We want you to hear from our fellow skinny line fempreneurs from around the country who share their most heartfelt success stories and real journeys because we're all real women just like you. So become a part of the tribe, and we promise you will find Skinny Line's cutting edge, step-by-step, and most importantly, easy to implement diet plans, products, as well as wellness and fashion tips to improve the quality of your life both inside and out.
Well, that says everything. And I think the most important thing, not just being an entrepreneur, a fempreneur, but it is about supporting other women. And that's what this is about. Because when you're motivated, it's so easy to make choices, both in terms of what you're putting in your body and from your corner, Julie, right, what you're putting around it. It's not wrapping paper because beauty resonates from the inside out. We know health is beautiful, whether it's energy, right? Everything that you're giving off, you're bringing those clothes to life.
Absolutely, Lisa. We've just learned so much that your clothes really do affect your mindset. When you get up in the morning, how you feel is going to reflect what you wear, what you put on your body, how you want others to perceive you, how you feel about yourself. So you can be comfortable but still say, hey, I can show off my personality with these boots, with this print, with your leggings, with something tight-fitting, a little looser. It's about being yourself, but putting out your best image to the world. And I think everything inside out, it just goes together.
Well, another clue about our special guest today, it was actually a Resident magazine event that I got more hits and likes than any other picture I posted. And that's because I was in the picture with our special guest today, who always rocks an outfit, boots, shoes, outfits. So then my son was like, well, Mom, maybe it wasn't you. It was our special guest who's in the picture with you. All right, hint number 7.
Well, you both rock all the time.
Oh, thank you. But you know what we really need to talk about is why we started the skinny line and really why we're leveling the playing field with men and women. We're really answering all those questions about a lot of women over the years being in the industry for decades. A lot of women feel like, oh, I went on the diet with my boyfriend or my husband and he lost weight just like that and I can't lose weight, that mindset. But the truth is, we are as different as apples and hammers, but not really, when actually we're similar metabolically. Women do tend to have slower metabolisms than men, but the difference is due to muscle mass and body size, not gender. And that surprises most women. Also, there are differences in where fat is stored. Of course, for pregnancy and puberty, this is where we develop our fat cells. But more than that, the characteristic is such that men tend to have more visceral fat, that harder, dense fat that is around the organs and the abdominal capacity and the midsection, the cavity, while women tend to have more subcutaneous fat, which is between the muscles and around the skin. Like, think of like a piece of steak. You know what I'm talking about, what it looks like. Not to gross you out.
I see it now.
It's important to know that fat is not all fat is created equal. So
no, that's right. We want tender fat around us. That's all. It's just big fat, not fair. That's all I have to say. But at least, ladies, there's something you can do about it. And Lisa, just to go on your point, that's absolutely correct. Visceral fat is particularly bad. It does increase risk of heart disease, diabetes, all sorts of nastiness, things we want to keep out of our bodies. So the fat distribution pattern in women is definitely even more beneficial.
Absolutely. The most important muscular difference is that women have a greater proportion of slow twitch muscle fibers. As a result, women, this is important now because I'm from the fitness anchor, right? I want to make sure everyone has the right information. Women use more fat during exercise than men do. I'm making a little pause there on purpose, so just process that, right?
Everybody listen up.
Right? We burn more fat effectively. However, after training, the fat utilization reverses. And we tend to burn an increased proportion of carbs, where men burn a higher percentage of fat.
That's just how it goes. But girls, to reiterate, gender differences in metabolism aren't that great. They're actually less of a function of gender than of body composition. So just remember that. And of the differences that do exist, the largest contributing factors are actually differences in muscle type fiber and, of course, sex hormones. These differences set women up more metabolically suited to just about anything. We have better insulin sensibility, more favorable fat distribution.
And at the gym, we burn a greater proportion of fat during exercise, which is so important to note.
That's right. Make sure you are writing that down right now. And women also do not have a harder time losing weight just because they're female. So yes, they'll probably have to eat fewer calories than a man who weighs about the same. But the primary factors in determining calorie needs are really body size, body composition, and activity level. So little to do with gender. So really, ladies, it's time to get in shape, increase metabolism, and you can show him up. Women are now winning the weight loss war, and it's really because of the skinny line and why we made this for you.
Absolutely. The skinny line addresses the question, which is what we were speaking about earlier, that women sometimes believe that my metabolism slows down. And what I often say in my classes is that it's not that your metabolism slowed down. We allowed it to slow down passively. Metabolism is also the ratio of muscle. Did you know that if you gain 5 pounds of muscle, you burn approximately 250 more calories per day doing nothing? That's why building muscle and maintaining strength training is so important because that is what the metabolism ratio is. But the changes to our hormonal system and the exposure to toxins, both in our foods and environmentally, can lead to the development of imbalances in our body that prevent our metabolism from working optimally. That's why we created this line, is we want to make sure that the naturally occurring hormones in our body, like ghrelin, leptin, right, the regulators, and cortisol, which we all know about, are in proper balance. So we burn fat optimally. Right, Julie?
That's right. Lisa, we want to be as balanced as possible, whether in your heels, in your body, those hormones that say, oh, hey, I'm hungry now, I need to eat. You don't always have to listen to your little hormone devil on your shoulder. There's also an angel. It comes in the form of a skinny spritz. But Lisa, absolutely. It's just an unfortunate thing that our conventional medicine system does not currently monitor this. So over time, we really begin to experience the symptoms of a broken metabolism without really understanding why. And so women kind of get stuck.
Absolutely. Do you remember our show a couple weeks ago? We had Joan London on as a guest. She's amazing with her new book. And she was saying how it was the first time that she went to the doctor, and the doctor was speaking all about measuring the waistline and body fat percentage and body mass index versus the old conventional biomarkers like just get on the scale. Because as you know, muscle weighs more than fat. It's so important that we understand that ratio.
That's right. Well, I think it's time to take a break, but we're so excited. When we come back, we'll introduce you to our incredible guests. So keep it here on AM 970, The Answer. And also remember to live stream us on Facebook.
And subscribe. Ask your questions. We'll be right back.
The people at Skinny Line have worked very hard to develop some of the highest quality and most effective all-natural weight loss pills and diet products available anywhere at any price. They're called Skinny Line products because they're designed to work easily with your busy lifestyle so that you can enjoy maximum weight loss the right way and with real results. Skinny Line products are designed to boost your energy, improve your nutrition, control your appetite, and promote gut health. They're formulated to work synergistically with your body to achieve natural weight loss in the healthiest way possible. Reaching health and weight loss goals isn't a fantasy. It's your future. After all, this is your journey, your story, and you're the superhero of it. You'll definitely want the Skinny on this range of Skinny Line products that will shrink your waist without having to wait. It's time to get to and stay at a healthy and skinny, super sexy weight. To place your order, go to theskinnyline.com. That's theskinnyline.com.
B3H Plus is a doctor-created, medically supervised total wellness program that uses evidence-based science that's helped thousands of women who have felt hopeless, fat, frustrated, and scared to reclaim their youthful spirit and zest for life. It's designed to overcome hormonal imbalances that can lead directly to food cravings, overeating, unwanted weight gain, and guaranteed to free you permanently from sugar cravings, the diet mentality, and calorie counting. Your roadmap begins with the most comprehensive female blood panel today that isolates hormonal imbalances and their underlying causes that are causing you to become overly fat, sick, tired, and angry. If left unchecked, these imbalances can cause major health risks, including serious weight gain, osteoporosis, heart disease, and even certain cancers. Clearly, it's important to balance the body's hormones to their optimum levels to help you refresh and reboot, live more vigorously, and look younger, longer. Call today, 1-855-ILUVB3H, 1-855-458-8234, or go to balance3hplus.com.
Welcome back to
Ladies, it's not our fault. It's our hormones. Welcome back to Ladies, It's Not Our Fault, It's Our Hormones and High Heels on AM 970, The Answer. I'm Julie Sagoskin here again with my amazing co-host, Lisa Avellino, and Jacqui Justice is out there informing our favorite fempreneurs about the Skinny Line and all things women empowerment. But we could not be more excited now to introduce you to our very special guest. She is everyone's favorite relationship and, let's face it, overall life coach expert, Dr. Robbie Ludwig. Dr. Ludwig, we are so happy to have you. You have been bringing your psychological insights to television for more than 20 years. You're a best-selling author. Lisa, how happy are we that she is in studio with us? This is incredible.
It's beyond. TV reporter, award-winning. Also, you might know her already because I know it's on your list. TLC for 2 years, right? How to Save a Marriage.
Yes.
The list goes on and on and on. Also, I'm so proud to say I've been a good friend and just love you, Robbie, for so many years. Thank you so much for coming on the show, but so active. We talk about a fempreneur, about inspiring other women and being the go-to voice. When there's a crisis out there, you'll see her on Fox, NBC, ABC. She's the go-to beautiful person giving inspirational information when the country really needs it, especially with COVID, which we'll get into. But we've done a lot of events with the American Heart Association, Empowering Women Go Red. You'll always see her on the circuit. And what else before we get into?
Well, there's so many, Lisa. I don't know if we can really list them all. It'll take up the rest of our show, which we're happy to do. But absolutely, you can catch Dr. Ludwig all over Daily Mail TV, CNN, Fox News, The Tamron Hall Show. She was Investigation Discovery Network's relationship contributor. We all love that show, Scorned. And most exciting, and congratulations to you, Dr. Ludwig, the recipient of the 2020 Best of Manhattan Award in the Mental Health Practitioner category by the Manhattan Award Program. So exciting and well-deserved.
And the most exciting, which I love, we did a lot of events. I'm going to cry at Lord & Taylor, that's no longer. But we did a lot of events at women's centers and women events across the East Coast, all about Your Best Age Is Now. Woo!
Yes.
Best-selling book, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing. I've read it several times, and I quote it in my fitness classes when I teach. We love you. Welcome to the show. Great friend,
thank you for
America's
being
rock
here.
star psychotherapist.
Oh,
Woo! Standing
thank
ovation.
you.
Yes.
We love you. Thank you so much.
I am so thrilled to be here. Congratulations, ladies. And Lisa, you know I love you.
Oh,
we have
thank you.
had so many fantastic events together.
Yes.
And it just shows you the power of great women working together and how important that message can be.
Absolutely. For years and years, there was a stigma that I think women didn't get behind one another, and that has changed. But it's from pioneers and industry leaders like yourself, because they're like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, she's nice, and she's smart, and she's giving a message that I'm going to take that tidbit away. I'm going to read that book, and I'm going to snuggle up to it, and it's changing my life. So you're helping one woman at a time. And when we raise everything and everyone around us, our world gets better. So that's what you've done. And we're so excited to have you here today as our Fempreneur rock star of the day.
I have to say, I give a lot of credit to the college I went to. I went to an all-women's college, Cedar Crest College.
Wonderful.
And what I experienced there was the beauty of women supporting other women. And you might not think that about an all-women's college, but we really supported each other, encouraged each other, and I just realized the value in having strong, smart women in your corner. And it makes your life just feel more joyous because women go through life in the same way. We experience things from a certain perspective. So to have other women who are successful and passionate and lovely people in your corner, it's life-changing.
Wow. My younger sister, Maria, went to Barnard, Columbia. She said the exact same thing. And for you, that was a platform and a foundation and a very formative stage that affects our adult personality choices. Well, I think maybe you wouldn't have been able to concentrate. The guys would be like tripping over
Listen, it was
you.
hard enough for me to concentrate because I was so boy crazy, and I still think I am. Like, you know, when I hear male bashing, I'm like, that's not me. I love men. I'm not saying all men are lovable, but I do love men.
They have their moments. Well, that's great to hear, though. Now I wish I went to an all-girls school a little bit because I think women especially do have this mentality, especially in the workforce, that other women are getting jealous or catty or going to kind of bring them down. And I think there's a level of trust that sometimes they don't confide in other women because they're a little worried. Are they going to backstab? Are they going to use against them? What do you think when women... Do we need to trust each other more? Or is it something we do as a defense mechanism?
I think people need to use their judgment, or women need to use their judgment, because there are certainly women out there who are not trustworthy, who might be more competitive. And I often say this to some of my patients when they describe a best friend. I don't know why they label this person a best friend, but the best friend was there for them when they were really down. But who's there for you when you're up?
Ooh.
Who's there for you when you're succeeding?
Good point.
That's the person you also want in your life, because that's when it can get tricky. So I think just use your judgment, but there are women out there who want other successful women to be a part of their network. You know, that's who they vibe with. So find those ladies.
That's very interesting. So, because sometimes when we are down, our self-esteem is compromised, and we might draw to us people that reflect that time in their life. And then there's that sort of reverse guilt trip that you're referring to. So we need that board of directors, positive, sincere people.
Right.
So what are signs that that's not happening?
Well, I think these women, or men too, can be in that category. They're not available. They're not excited to hear good news. They might devalue a friend who's gotten that new promotion or relationship or house or vacation. Listen, we all have a range of emotions that we experience. We're aspirational beings, right? We all want more and to do better and to have more. But the woman who can't handle another woman's success will gossip about them, will say things that are derogatory, or just aren't available. They don't seem to show up. And I think it's really important to know who those people are. I don't necessarily recommend getting rid of people necessarily, but I recommend in my practice categorizing people.
Ooh, tip number 17.
Spring cleaning of your friends. I want to listen to
Get
this
out your
because
phone
I think
notes.
we've all been
Okay.
there.
Know who you're dealing with. You know, the person that can't handle, let's say, a deep conversation. Know who that person is, and maybe you reserve them to go shopping with you. Maybe they're a fun brunch friend.
Something very superficial, like we're going shopping.
We don't need to put all of our eggs in one basket. Just know who people are so that you can adjust your expectations.
Sort of like wearing an evil eye. You want to ward off bad people, bad feeling, right? You don't want anybody destroying your path, bringing you down.
Right. And I mean, I would also say that the healthier we are, the more that we work on ourselves, you know, in terms of exercise and diet and how we present ourselves, the better we feel about ourselves, probably the more supportive people we can find in our orbit.
Well,
because, you know, health attracts health.
Absolutely. Well, that really was the basis of the show, which is really where wellness, right?
Absolutely.
Where fashion meets wellness. Because when you're feeling healthy from the inside, you're right, you attract, it affects your work, it affects your spouse, your partner. And that's a very important point you just brought up, the psychological aspect, the emotional response. And that's really why we also created the Skinny line, which is the ingredients that can really help support our immune system, our ability to burn fat, our ability to create energy, really comes through. If you think about it, I often say, our stylist over here, right, Julie, if you were looking at an outfit in a store that was on a mannequin and she was sort of rounded shoulders and head down, it wouldn't look the same. It wouldn't, it would be, where's the vitality? The vitality, the life force behind it.
No,
That's exactly right.
You can have the most fabulous dress, and if it doesn't fit, forget it. That's a style tip, but also a mental, a wellness tip. It's really how you wear it. And I know Lisa is the posture guru. I'm always remembering to stand up straight when she's nearby, but it's so true, because even if you have the most glamorous outfit, if it doesn't fit you, there's no point in wearing it. It's going to bring you down, and it's just not going to add to your overall fabulousness, which is what you are and what you deserve. And when you say, Lisa, this helps you, the Skinny line, for your weight, for your immune system. We also have built a support system amongst women and amongst each other, and to help everybody and to help our friends and our mothers and our daughters. And this isn't just, oh, hey, I'm going to spritz myself skinny and look great in my skinny jeans in a week. We want to help and empower everyone.
But if you do have a spray that works like that, please send it my way, because I
Lifetime
would love
supply
to use
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
What we have.
Well, what's great about it is that I think we all need a little help from time to time. With the holidays around the corner, we are tempted with foods that culturally remind us of different points in our life and our culture. So a little spritz is a great way to balance our blood sugar levels, and it's really great for everyone. So this is AM 97 The Answer. Ladies, it's not our fault. It's our high heels.
Known as New York's leading lifestyle and luxury publication, Resident Magazine has been bringing the best of fashion, travel, dining, real estate, celebrity news, and more to the Big Apple for over 3 decades. With award-winning content and photography, including exclusive interviews and cutting-edge fashion spreads, as well as celebrity covers, Resident has been featured in media outlets across the country. From Manhattan to the Hamptons, Resident Magazine continues to bring you the latest trends and inside style scoop. Catch up on the latest health and wellness stories, or learn how the travel industry is adapting to these unprecedented times. Pick up your copy of Resident today or subscribe at residentpublications.com. That's residentpublications.com, and read about what all the New York residents are raving about. residentpublications.com.
Welcome back to Ladies. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels on AM 970 The Answer. And make sure you're streaming live on their Facebook page at AM 970. Here I am back again with Lisa Avellino and our incredible guest who you just heard from. We already got a ton of great tips in that short amount of time, Dr. Robbie Ludwig. And her amazing book, we really want to talk about this, called Your Best Age Is Now. And I can tell you, Robbie, sitting near you, your best age really is right now, because you look fabulous. I'm loving your clothes, the all black look, the statement jewelry pieces. I wish you guys could see her. That's why you need to go to our live stream. So what really is a woman's best age, and why do you think they feel, once maybe they're past their 40s, their 50s, instead of saying, hey, I'm at the height of my career, I'm at the height of my family life, I'm referred to by society really as over the hill?
Well, I think it's cultural, where there is this over-idealization of youth as being where all the possibilities lie. And youth is a wonderful place. But if you ask women, I don't know, Lisa, if you've had this experience, I certainly did. I will look at older pictures of myself, and I'm not wanting to go back there.
I don't want to go back.
And so culture kind of tells us how we should think about certain stages. And we really need to fight against that. And when we think about just female psychology, if a woman is giving herself an expiration date, really internalizing that message, it's a way of women taking themselves out of the game and disempowering themselves. If you interview women in midlife, very often they'll say, I've never felt better about myself. You almost grow into yourself where you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. You're not trying to please somebody else and giving your power away for somebody to accept you. It's almost like you say, listen, this is who I am. And some people will like it, some people will not, and that's just a part of life. So many women really do feel very good about themselves. They've been humbled in certain cases with certain issues in life, but they've also experienced grand successes as well.
Wow, that's what I love about the book, that it really teaches you how being aware and how those lessons along the way, the silver linings, even what's been going on with COVID, really do empower us if you choose to embrace. And when you read your book, you realize how relevant you are and how you're better at life skills, communicating, expressing yourself. And when you can be direct with someone, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's work or even your creative sense of self, tapping into that talent or whatever it is, maybe it's a second career change, whatever it is, I think that's what it's all about. It's really what you just said. There's so many good tips in this book.
Yeah.
To realization.
And the nice thing about this book, if someone just wants to look at beauty, they could look at beauty. If they want to look at relationships, they could look at relationships. You could look at whatever chapter you feel really speaks to you. But it's very true. I mean, midlife is a stop and pause moment, and it's also a moving target. So Gail Sheehy, who wrote Passages, do you remember that book?
Of course, yes, it was a classic.
Very famous.
It was a guidebook at one point, right? The go-to.
It was the go-to guidebook.
Yes.
And she described having midlife crisis when she was 35. And when you think about that, 35, people are just starting their lives.
It's a little older than Julie, but it's in that range, right?
Yeah, I mean...
It's true. They call it, what now, the quarter life crisis, even at 25?
Well, here's the thing. You can have a crisis at any point.
A teenager, sure.
You know, and it's not just associated with midlife. So we really need to negate some of the myths that hold us back, that disempower us, that basically tell us a story for how we're going to live our lives. Midlife is the time when you stop and you think, what have I done? What do I want now? What speaks to me? It's when you use your soul and you incorporate it into what you're doing. And that is a beautiful combination when you think about it. And beautiful things can happen at any stage of your life. Norma Kamali talked about meeting the love of her life at 60.
Wow.
And so when are our happiest moments? When things are going well, right? When we have what we want. And I don't know if we can put an age on that, but it is very important to keep in mind that we're not irrelevant. And in fact, the midlifers have money, and now advertisers are starting to direct some of their products towards them. And that's where, you know, the dollars are. So I think that the whole world is understanding that it's taking us all a lot longer to grow up. Midlife is a moving target, and that we're going to be living a long time. You don't want to give up on yourself when you're 40 or 35.
No, absolutely. I'm so glad you wrote this book, because I'll never forget when I was a teenager listening to my aunt speak about how making a joke, I think they said something like, we get better with wine. Like, and I think they were laughing because they didn't really mean it. And it's part of that old millennium thinking that if we do get depressed, or if we don't get the physical response or attention or whatever they were holding on to in their younger years, it doesn't mean that you're not relevant. So it's getting back to the joy, getting back to the inspiration. And I can say that boldly and not laugh, because we're in a different awareness. We have to accept that. This is the new guidebook, everyone.
I have two ideas about that. First of all, I was very lucky to be raised by a mother who could see beauty at every age. And she's beautiful now, very youthful
Gorgeous,
looking.
Yes.
That's where you get it from. Yes, we all know now.
Good genes help you look good in jeans. Can we say that?
Oh, yes, Lisa,
good
I
genes
love that.
Make you look,
Say that when you wake up in the morning.
Yes.
But I love that she could see somebody who was in their 80s and say, what a beautiful woman. So she wasn't restricting it just to youth. You know, of course, you know, we've been trained to think youth is beauty, and for many people it is. But different phases, there are people who are looking their best as they get older. Why? They know themselves better. They know how to eat better. They know how to have a better life. And all of those life factors influence how we age and how we look.
And now I do think this book, as Lisa said, we just love every tidbit of information. It's just something for everybody, especially now going through so much. I think we're really second guessing ourselves, what we're doing with our lives. You hear people saying, hey, what matters anymore? Money doesn't matter. And where am I in my career with Corona and everything? I think it's really having people face their own mortality more. And I just also want to say, so many of my friends say in their 20s and 30s, I think it's really at the stage now you're starting to build a family, you're really reaching a high point in your career. But then I think you also know, a few years down the road, 10 years, 20 years, I'm going to be 40, I'm going to be 50. Is there anything people at this stage of life should be thinking so when they get to that point, they're in the right mindset to feel good about themselves?
Such a great question. Such a great question. Well, first of all, I recommend that women in midlife have friends or mentors of all ages. So if you're reaching midlife, you want to have younger friends and hear what's relevant to them, as well as older friends and contemporary, just to keep yourself up to date and to keep yourself current. Educate yourself as to what you need to learn, what's new in the field, or what do you need to learn in order to segue into another profession. I was speaking to Kate White, who was the former editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan.
Yes.
And then decided to go on to another successful career as a novelist. She'd be a great guest for you guys.
Thank you. We'll have to reach out.
Yeah, I interviewed her for my book, and I was talking about work life and what do women do during midlife in order to maintain their jobs, because there is something, I think, more than ageism is salaryism.
Ooh.
We tend to call it ageism, but once you reach a certain salary and they feel that they can do it cheaper, you have to be aware of the realities of the business you're going into. So that's number one. But she said, take control of how you look. Have a friend say, maybe you need to update your wardrobe.
An honest friend. Is that the one that says you have tissue under your shoe?
Yeah.
Or you have a little spinach over here?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and you can
a real friend.
ask them or look at an image of yourself compared to what's going on. Listen, you don't have to wear crop tops, right? I mean, those days of mine are gone. I don't know that I ever had those days, but they're definitely gone. And I'm good with that. But if nobody is wearing stockings, she said, then maybe you don't wear stockings. Maybe you update your wardrobe so that you look more youthful. Like, everyone needs to do their part to keep themselves relevant and in the mix.
I like this because sometimes Michael, my son, will say, Mom, you need to learn that new app, or you're a dinosaur. But having another age group communicate and speak honestly really gives you a little sting. During Corona, when we transferred from in-person boot camp fitness classes to online, a lot of people had to adapt to Zoom. And what I'm so happy and so proud of, whether it was women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even women in their 80s, I have women that never on computer and learned it and now love it. So sometimes we're creatures of habit, but I love what you just said. We need mentors. We need that sort of board of directors of personal care that hits that whole wellness wheel, both from maybe supportive of a friend or a situation or advice for fashion.
And when you hang around the younger generation, you could feel more energetic. Not necessarily full-time, but we need many different voices in our head.
Well, that's not fair. Robbie looks like her daughter's big sister.
Right.
So that's easy for you to hang out and dance on the tables and do your high heel outfit.
I think dancing on the tables, I would break that poor table. But this is a truth. This happened recently. I put on an outfit. I bought a pair of jean shorts with rhinestones because it was on sale. And I thought, oh, this is going to look cool. And my daughter looked at me and she's like, oh my God, you're dressing younger than me. I was like, oh, we can't have that.
Oh,
well, sometimes we actually can, and I'm sure you looked great in them. But we'll be right back on AM 970, The Answer.
When it comes to finding the freshest new fashions, Julie Sagoskin, editor-in-chief of Resident Magazine, has made her mark on this ever-evolving industry. Whether it's looking over the latest looks from the front row of Fashion Week or hunting for the next head-turning designer, this energetic editor is sought after for her insider insights on the industry. She got her start interviewing fashion designers and stylists behind the scenes and writing about the business of fashion. During her tenure at Resident Magazine, she's been instrumental in helping to make the fashion industry more inclusive by showcasing and supporting both models and designers of all sizes and ethnicities. Through her insights and sharp eye for spotting the next big thing, Julie continues to make fashion more accessible for all. With wellness trends impacting the fashion world more than ever before, Julie has been at the forefront of exploring how these two industries continue to influence each other. According to Julie, it's all about style and sustainability. We return now to
Ladies, it's not our fault. It's our hormones.
Welcome back on AM 97 The Answer and all the beautiful friendpreneurs out there. I'm here with my amazing co-host, Julie Sagoskin. Jacqui's off today at a Skinny Line presentation. And I'm here with our incredible and great friend. Thank you so much, Robbie, for being out, Dr. Robbie Ludwig, our guest today. And I love, love, love your book, Your Best Age Is Now. When I'm having a low moment, I'm not kidding. I really mean this. I just think of the picture of the title of the book, and that just sends positive messages. Sometimes we just need one good thought, and it just shifts the mind, like a mind shift, like a mantra. So if I'm having, with COVID, it was a little challenging. I just thought of the book. Could you give us some tips on how the psychology of dressing and just tell us something. You can only hear here the inside scoop.
So I'll just say, too, just briefly, I don't think that we should put our lives on hold because of COVID. We should be safe, but we should use this time to think about who do we want to be when we come out of this, because we're all going to come out of it at some point. We don't want to waste time.
So don't put it on hold. This is not Noah's Ark.
Right.
We can work internally on our health, our wellness, our psyche, reinventing ourselves.
I think it's fast tracking all of these things that people weren't thinking about before, that this is the time.
Because people are stopping, right? And they're sitting with themselves and noticing their emotions and what's important to them and who's important to them. So this has been a time of great value. And so I would encourage all of your listeners to use it and think, who do I want to be? What do I need to do? And clothing is a great place to start, because clothing is the closest thing to our skin. It basically shares a message about who we are without saying anything, and it affects our psyche in addition to how other people experience us. So that if we are wearing, let's say, the color red, and they've done the psychology of color and how it impacts people, men really are drawn to women who wear red. And women can feel sexier wearing the color red. And you want to also think about who do you want to be, and you can dress like a future version of who you want to become and settle into that person. And so the language of clothes can help us not only experience ourselves differently, but also impact the way others see us as well. And it just can impact our mood. We can work on feeling more comforted, like soft clothing. You probably know this.
I was going to say, these times, if anything, have just turned casual wear into the new it wear. It's the new runway clothes. We had Nicole Miller on a few shows back, and everything is about cozy glamour. So you can have your, rock studs on a pair of sweatpants now and go down the street or do your activities, go to lunch with a girlfriend, and you're technically styling, whereas maybe a few months back before COVID, they'd say, oh, she didn't put any effort into today. So what are you wearing? Are you rocking the more casual sweatpants look, or you're still back to your regular self?
In all truth, just being completely honest with you girls, there's always been two Robbies. There's been the Robbie that just is like in sweatpants and doesn't do that much to herself, probably looks closer to an alcoholic.
No.
rocking that look.
Never.
She's so
Or,
humble. That's
you
why I
know,
love you. She's so humble.
The more put together for events and things like that. But really during this time, it is important to put your makeup on. And they've done studies about this, that even during Zoom calls or during working at home, if you're working in your pajamas or your sweats, you're not going to be as productive. You're not in that frame of mind. So really what you wear can help you be more focused, can help you to be more professional. And so I would say to everybody, put a little effort into it. Even people who advise about weight will say, wear jeans, just don't wear your leggings, because you have no sense of what's going on if you're wearing your leggings, right? Although I have had tight leggings just in my life.
Well, Robbie, see, I look at you as America's psychotherapist that's always giving advice. So if you're relaxing at home, she's kind of like Superman, but Superwoman. Like he has the glasses on and then he puts the cape on. So you might be relaxing, but then a second later, Fox is saying, we need an expert to come in and give us tips. America's in a crisis. They're depressed. It's getting darker earlier, or they're feeling down. What you need to do to help us get out of that.
It's interesting. I don't know if you have experienced this, but I do a lot for my home studio now, which never existed pre-COVID. But
Yes.
now I just like walk over to the, part of my apartment that is my home studio. And it's just interesting to see how I experience myself differently based on what I'm doing.
Do you think people are finding that healthy balance of live, work, play, everything within the same space, like you say, at home? Or do you think a lot of people are having difficulty kind of figuring out how much time to spend work-wise with their family? It's a challenge.
No, I think it is a challenge, and especially for working mothers, because I'm sure you've heard this, that working mothers sometimes have to give up on their jobs to homeschool their kids. Like, everything falls on the woman.
Absolutely. That's another reason why we created the Skinny line, which is the environmental toxins and the motivation that you would normally get going to a physical gym or a plant or a nutritionist, and that whole wellness support system isn't there. So that's why this was created, to empower your, on a cellular level, make you feel good and have the body heal itself and run optimally, right? Create that energy.
And we know that weight impacts how a person feels, both for men and women. So one of the things I've heard a lot is, I need to get my eating on track. How do I exercise now that it's getting cold outside and my gym's closed down? And how do I motivate myself? And it's really about keeping some kind of schedule, writing down what works for you, taking yourself out, for a break. Let's say if you're working at home, say I'm not available from 3 to 6 because I'm helping my kids, but anytime after that I could be available. And it's just being aware of who you are and what works, but we need to set boundaries. Otherwise we burn out. So it's important to give ourselves permission. And also, if you are eating healthy, you are working out, and you can tell us more about your new product, people feel more energized, which is really important right now.
Well, one of the things that we were speaking about early in the show is how when we have the environmental toxins, let's say women compared to men, women for years and years are using more products like hairspray and nail polish and makeup, perfumes, layers and layers and layers.
Yeah.
And that affects the body's ability to access fat stores. We're more likely to store fat. So when you are feeding the body what it needs, it does what it's supposed to do, get to your healthy weight safely and quickly. And so one of the things that's so important is that to create that regimen is also to be more effective in terms of time management. So you just hit a really important note, Robbie, which is scheduling it. And why we came out with this also was we want to be that support system. So we're here for you with your questions, which we appreciate last week. But also we know how today women are living many lives, so to speak. They are going back to work. They are reinventing themselves or starting businesses. We love you, fempreneurs. But also to be able to do that and not get sick, not gain weight and run on adrenaline and get adrenal fatigue, we need to make sure that we are nourishing the body. And we realize also that it has to be efficient and quick. So that's why we put all those ingredients in one little spritz that you can take with you wherever you go.
And they really are so easy, and that's why I love it. And really, when I said, wow, a spritz, you have no excuses anymore. You can throw it in your bag. You can do it in between a Zoom meeting, picking your kids up, having lunch. I mean, we are really changing the way people think about a regular diet plan or taking a pill. Those are really outdated, and everything is so natural. Our shakes are vegan, so you don't have to worry also what you're putting in your body, which we know today people are more educated than before. They have Google. They, with COVID, are nervous. What am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I taking?
What am I putting in my body? They're not just asking questions, they're asking better questions. And one product I'm super excited about, it's called Skinny Sculpt. And just like today you can get medication delivered via patch, this is absorbed through the skin, so it's really helping to speed up the metabolism. And I have an incredible fitness boot camp exercise routine that you do them together, and it really pushes that ability to burn fat and speed up the metabolism even faster. So.
No, it's one of my favorite products. In fact, there are so many products we could use, and I could tell you use this for cellulite, do this beauty tip, but this is so easy and effective, and it's going to
and where do they
outshine
get
every other
it?
product.
And where do they get it? They go to the
skinnyline.com. That's right, theskinnyline.com. Skinny Spritz, Skinny Sculpt, Boost, Energize, everything you need to stay stylish, skinny, and your fabulous self.
And our gift to you, future fempreneurs, Skinny 10 gives you 10% off. So we want you to get started today. And again, if you have any questions, please call in. And one or two last tips, Dr. Robbie's going to have to come back again. Dr. Robbie Ludwig, we love you so much. Two more tips before we say goodbye.
So don't give in to this internalized expiration date, and use this time in the present to become the person you want to be, because our future self is based on what we're doing today.
Wow. Rockstar fempreneur.
That's
we
right.
love
You heard it here.
Woo!
This program sponsored by Balance 3H Plus Medical Weight Loss and Aesthetic Spa for Women.